They just can't do anything about one. All of them are landing on the same ugly thought. Something is coming.
At 0641 local time, a swarm of Ukrainian drones is skimming the Black Sea at wave-top height. Look closely at the data. The reality of this conflict is completely different from what you see on the news. The truth will surprise you.
10 seconds, the Seeker holds its lock through the tracer and the rifle fire, the hull swelling until it fills the frame. Impact just below the rail. The only thing rising to meet it is rifle fire. Muzzle flashes pop along the deck rail, sailors shooting at a dot in a smoke-stained sky. Close enough now that they can hear it. A lawnmower at full throttle.
Russia's most advanced $500 million air defense system just failed in the Black Sea. But how? Today, we will break down the brutal geometry of this high-tech drone war. Stay tuned.
Their destination is Novorossiysk, the last harbor where Russia's Black Sea fleet can still hide. At 0641 local time, a swarm of Ukrainian drones is skimming the Black Sea at wave-top height. Unknown to the drones, today the port fields a weapon no drone here has ever faced before.
19 minutes out, the lead drone's satellite receiver updates, and the new position is a lie. The forged signal tells the system the drone is parked safely at Gelendzhik Airport, 30 kilometers away.
But the FP-1 drone was built by people who assumed the road signs would be swapped. It flies on inertial navigation. The drone adds up every turn and every second of flight on its own. Like crossing your living room with the lights off. You might veer an inch, but you won't miss the couch. On the coastline ahead, a Russian air defense operator sweeps his search radar across 50 kilometers of open sea. Empty. He leans into the scope anyway. Still empty. 3 years into a drone war, nobody on this coast believes in empty scope anymore. They just can't do anything about one. All of them are landing on the same ugly thought. Something is coming.
And the radar can't say from where. If you look here at one of those drones, that blank screen starts making sense.
Barely 2.5 meters of plywood and radar-absorbent skin. $55,000 a copy. Built at better than 100 a day. Each one is worth less than a new pickup truck. Bait for interceptors that cost more than every drone in this swarm combined. Down at wave-top height, it hides inside two things at once. A choppy sea throwing radar returns in every direction. And the curve of the Earth itself. Anything this low stays invisible until it's nearly ashore. His radar can reach out 400 kilometers and put a missile on what it finds. But it can't build a track on something at 50. Then, the high layer starts to climb. 90 more seconds, and the curve of the Earth stops protecting it.
And that empty scope fills up all at once. 10 minutes out, 25 kilometers from the harbor mouth, the high flyers crest the radar horizon. Multiple inbounds fanning apart. One group bends toward the naval base, another toward the oil terminal, a third toward the fuel depot.
The air defense net comes alive. The battery commander has minutes, and the math is ugly.
Each fire channel can fight one thing at a time. He has a handful of fire channels. Think a phone switchboard with 4 lines and 30 callers ringing at once.
And more drones than that on the screen. Every interceptor he burns on plywood is one he won't have for the cruise missiles. He has fought cruise missiles in exercises his whole career. Nobody ever trained him to fight a lumberyard. He studies the spread for a heartbeat, picks the nearest hard track, and commits a missile. It screams off the coastline, trailing fire. The warhead reaches the target and detonates on the open sea instead, hammering up a column of spray that hangs in the dawn air.
S-400, NATO calls it the SA-21 Growler, the most advanced air defense system Russia sells, and it just lost an argument with a 2-foot air gap.
System was never designed to solve this. Its proximity fuse listens for something the size of a jet fighter. Against a drone hugging the sea, it triggered on the water. An S-400 battery costs $500 million and can swat a stealth fighter at 400 kilometers. It can't acquire a plywood airframe at 30. Think home security system. Top-of-the-line cameras everywhere, calibrated for a 6-foot man, while the intruder is a mouse running along the baseboards. At his console, the picture is maddening. The low contacts flicker in and out of the sea clutter, never holding still long enough to shoot. The high ones come through clean, bright, almost insulting. And every one of them is the cheap half of the swarm. That's the whole trick. A swarm split across 3 targets means every defender ends up fighting his own corner alone. More launches, more spray. Every drone the battery chases low, 2 more cross the horizon high, and the interceptors cost more than the apartment blocks behind them. Miles to the east, the first smoke is already climbing. The drones are arriving over Sheshkaris. The tank farm is burning. Sheshkaris is the tank farm that loads Russia's export tankers. The smoke rising over it is money the Kremlin actually counts.
And that smoke is doing something else too. Every minute the fuel farms burn, they pump heat into the sky, creating a massive thermal mess.
5 minutes out, 12 kilometers from the piers, the low drones cross the coastline beneath the Marco Ridge, the 700-meter wall of rock hanging over the harbor. This morning, the ridge opens fire. A chainsaw of 30mm rounds tears off the ridgetop, tracer lights strobing them across the water. The lead low drone flies into the stream and comes apart, plywood confetti drifting onto the swells.
Pantsir-S1, NATO designation SA-22 Greyhound. That chainsaw sound was the 2 of them together, throwing close to 5,000 rounds a minute.
The Pantsir is more than the guns. It carries its own radar, plus a thermal sight that tracks a drone by the heat of its engine. Made for this kind of target.
In the cab, a gunner leans into his screen, the drone a bright blob against the cold morning sky, while the computer works the lead for him.
The blue beams and searchlights sweeping the approach make his job even easier, washing out the low drone's cameras and painting them bright. Then, the turret slews up after the high drone, barrels elevating, tracking, holding steady and never firing. Because the gun tops out at 3,000 meters. The crew has a missile that can reach it. What they don't have is a free channel. The fire solution is still committed to the wreck below. By the time the system can cycle to a fresh target, the drone does the thing that ends the conversation. It noses over and drops below the ridgeline. Into a bowl of harbor the launcher can't fire into without putting shells through the city. Good crew, right system, wrong geometry. The planner who drew those 2 altitude bands knew it. The swarm wasn't split to cover ground. It was split to defeat the guns. The harbor that shelters the fleet is the same harbor that handcuffs its guns. The hills can shoot down all morning. The ships can't shoot across without hitting each other. So the fleet holds its fire. Half the town is awake now, phones out, filming the light show from balconies. Because nothing says modern warfare like a naval battle going viral. The target the size of a kayak, crossing at 160 kilometers per hour, giving a hand-aimed gun only seconds of clean track. Then, something unexpected happens. Blue laser beams slice up off the water and sweep onto the drone, pinning it in light. Russia's newest anti-drone weapon is active.
Blue laser dazzlers, turned to 445 nanometers, aimed at the camera. Pour enough into the lens and the picture washes out. Blind the camera and the drone crashes.
But this drone isn't looking at the world in color. Its seeker reads heat, infrared. You can't blind a heat sensor with colored light any more than you can deafen a man with a flashlight. One quiet choice made months ago. A heat-seeking eye just paid for itself. Now, only one layer is left between the drone and its target. A ship older than every man defending her. The drone tips into its terminal dive, prop note rising. The seeker is hunting warm in the outline of a ship, and dead ahead, the frigate Pitlivi, machinery hot, superstructure bright.
The only thing rising to meet it is rifle fire. Muzzle flashes pop along the deck rail. Sailors shooting at a dot in a smoke-stained sky. Close enough now that they can hear it. A lawnmower at full throttle.
10 seconds, the seeker holds its lock through the tracer and the rifle fire, the hull swelling until it fills the frame. Impact just below the rail. The oldest frigate is smoking. This harbor was supposed to be out of reach. The fleet already ran once. There is no next harbor. Bye for now.